When were you born?
I was born in 1910, July 22nd,
And where?
in Reading.
And your parent? Do you remember your parents much? Or
Oh yes, oh yes, I remember my parents.
who were your parents?
My father's name was Michael. My mother's name was Alexandra. We called her Sandy, or not Sandra.
Uh
Or when we loved her very much, we used to call her Alex.
huh. Why? What was the difference?
Well, we used to get mad at her when we got scolded. Come on in, honey. When we got scolded, when we had a lot of fun together, we'd say Alex. And
She didn't like that, or
oh, she liked it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, there was no, I mean, she didn't mind.
what was her maiden name?
Uh, let's see, what was her maiden name?
Do you remember?
Yes, I do, if I can drag it out of my memory. See, I have so much written in my book of my life, you know. It takes me a while to flip those pages back, you know, to find, no, I can't.
Oh, we'll come back to it.
On a minute, no, I can't think of it.
Were they both born in America, or
And they were both born in the same little town near Warsaw.
so they were both born in Poland?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they both went to school at the same time.
When did they come over here?
My mother came over here when she was 18. And she was born 1907, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah, 1907.
Now, were you the oldest?
No, I had two brothers. My brother Ted was the oldest, and then there's another brother. His name was Michael. He died, and I was third in line.
How old was
My mother?
Michael? I don't remember him.
Michael? No, you don't. No, he died when he was only 18 months old.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And then I was third in line. Then there was another brother after me, and his name was Richard.
Okay.
And he died. Then Jimmy was born. After Jimmy was born, there was another one, another child, and he died too.
Okay.
So there were three dead brothers, and they both died at 18 months.
Oh.
In those days, pneumonia was very common. There was nothing for pneumonia that they could do. They had doctors down from Philadelphia, and from every doctor I think that they heard of in Reading and Philadelphia, they had down to the house. And it just couldn't. One doctor would say, come in and say, open the windows wide, let this child have air. And that didn't help. They'd get another doctor, and he'd come and close those windows, keep him warm. We had no penicillin in those days. Nothing that they could give.
But you had another brother, Richard.
Yeah. Then after Richard, this last one died, then he was named Richard.
Uh-huh.
And he's the one that lives in San Diego, California.
And Ted died.
No, Ted's living.
Ted lived.
It's Jimmy that died.
Jimmy died. Okay.
Yeah, Jimmy died.
And Jimmy was a baker?
Yeah.
Okay. What does Ted do?
Ted has his own business. He installs boilers,
Uh-huh.
heating,
Uh-huh.
plumbing, that
Okay.
kind of stuff.
And then you have Norman.
No, he's the youngest. He was a baby. I was 16 when he was born.
Now, didn't you raise Norman, or didn't you?
Yes, my mother was very sick after Norman was born.
Okay. So
Yeah, And
you played mommy.
I played mommy. I played mommy to all of them, including my father, who became a big baby.
Why?
When my mother died.
Oh.
Just one of those things. I mean, he couldn't cope. See, my mother was the business lady. She made him. My mother made my father believe that he knew all, that he did all this good work. The agents. We had a bakery.
It was a bakery.
Yeah. And the agents would go and get the order from my father and then come and check it with my mother because she knew what was going on. My dad didn't. He was a worker. He was great. He really was a worker.
But he wasn't the brains.
But he wasn't the brains. I mean, he had the brains, but he was
Maybe he had no interest in it.
That's right. As far as ordering was concerned, forget it. It's like when we're making out income tax. And my father, on the income tax, it would say, well, how much flour do you have on hand? And he'd look at me and says, why must they have that? Why must they have that? That's none of their business. Well, I said, it's part of the income tax. They must know what you have on hand. Why? I don't have to tell them that. Don't put it down on that paper.
So now, you spoke Polish? Was
Yeah.
this Polish that you would speak?
Yeah, I spoke Polish. I write Polish.
But I mean, when your family would talk,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was all
We
Polish.
did. We spoke a lot of Polish. It used to get funny because at the dinner table, we'd all sit around and talk English, and then my father would suddenly decide, we must talk Polish. And we'd start talking Polish, and who was the first one that started talking English? My father. And we'd tease him about it. We had a lot of fun. I had a great family. I had a great mother and father.
And the bakery was where?
On 8th and Bingman.
8th and
They
Bingman.
built that building. Oh, it looks terrible now.
It's not
It's a
there
mess.
anymore, or it's still there?
Oh, it's still there. It's
Where's
a
that,
mess.
Reading?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Take a glass. Take a sip.
Yeah. They built that place, and then we had a big garden there, and then my dad decided to put up a garage, which had something like 20 cars, because we had a lot of trucks on the road.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they were a good bakery.
What was the name of the bakery?
It was just bakery. 8th and Bigman Bakery.
That's all
It had no name?
No, not until we moved to Lorraine. And then it was called the Lorraine Bakery. But up
So
to
you moved to Lorraine when?
Oh, I was 17 when we moved down to Lorraine. We had a summer home down there.
When your mother was still alive?
Yeah, but she died soon after.
She was ill. What did she die?
They called it Bright's disease, which is really a kidney disease.
Uh-huh.
Her kidneys went bad.
Uh-huh.
And they had nothing for that either at
Yeah.
that time, which was sad because she was a very wonderful person. She was a love.
So this was in Lorraine. Was it? I'm trying to picture where it was.
Well, it's not there anymore. It was on Lorraine Road, but they took that building all apart, that home.
It was on Lorraine Road.
Yeah, uh-huh. As a matter of fact...
That's the one that goes by the golf course.
I don't
No,
remember.
no, you mean
Lorraine Road, I think, goes goes towards Birdsboro.
Yeah.
Oh.
It goes by what they used to call... No, I shouldn't say
I know
that.
what you mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's called Battles Hill now.
Is it called
Oh, it's
that?
called the
Yeah, something
black
like that.
section back in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
it
was
was
about 5 miles from there,
on the Reading side.
towards Reading.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you showed me where that was once.
I imagine
You
I
did.
did.
Well,
yeah.
I went to elementary school back in there. Lorraine Elementary is back towards that way.
Oh yeah, that was where I used to go to get apples and corn and everything.
Yeah,
There used
those
to be a
orchards
farm.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orchard's there.
And the doctor and his wife owned that, and I don't remember their name now anymore.
So it was near there, huh?
Yeah, not too far away, just a mile up the road from
So
there.
you lived there how long?
Well, until I was 21, and I moved away.
So you went through high school? Did you go through high school?
No, I only finished up to third grade, third year of high.
So you only went up to third
three.
high.
I mean, I also had a half a year of high school. My mother died, and I had to stay home.
So you went up to third grade.
No, my mother finished high school.
But what about you?
Something I didn't do.
Oh, okay.
My mother finished high
But you
school.
only went up to third grade?
Well, a little bit beyond third grade.
Fourth grade.
Yeah, fourth, you know.
Fourth grade?
I had 3.5 years of high school. First of all, he yanked us out of Reading to move us down there, where we had all the friends and everything. I was up in high school, knew all the kids, you know how it is, you know everybody. Kids in your own neighborhood, and and my father decided he was going to become a farmer. And why he did, I don't know. He didn't know a chicken from one end to the other. I don't think.
Well, then you were in high school then. You were
Yeah, I
like
was in
maybe
high
a
school.
sophomore or a
I was
junior,
17,
17. So you were like a year away from graduation.
Yeah.
Okay.
just about a half a year, not quite
So that
a
would be
year.
like 11th grade is what that
Something
would be.
like that,
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Did you have any desire to go to college, or
Yes, I did.
what did you want to study?
But I really don't know now anymore. I mean, I just wanted to go to college because all my friends went to college and I wanted to go. And I think I could have made it because I wasn't a dumb kid.
So what happened?
Well, my mother got sick. I
Uh-huh.
had to stay home with the family.
Uh-huh.
And my brothers, who really had the intelligence and were able to go, like Jimmy especially,
Uh-huh.
he was bright. He didn't want to go.
What's his coat?
Fool that he was. I was the one that wanted to go, and I couldn't. Which is kind of a thorn in my side right now. But anyway, what had happened would happen, you know. In those days, and I was the only girl. So, you know, it just automatically, you just stay home and take
But
care.
before your mother got sick, what kind of a girl were you? What kind of things did you do?
Oh, I had a lot of friends. We used to sit around the piano, and I played the piano. We'd sing. My brother played the violin, and a whole bunch of us would go out walking. I have pictures, snapshots. Someday, if you're interested, I'll show you the whole bunch. We used to go out. We'd walk for miles and have a great time. We didn't have TVs or anything. Our entertainment was strictly the piano, and everybody played some instrument.
Mhm.
My brother played the violin, I played the piano, and another a cousin of ours who really was almost brilliant on the piano. You know, and we just had a great time. We just stood around the piano and danced, you know, and sang, and we didn't go to movies much, even though movies were only 5 cents in those days. But movies were bad. Not bad, you know, that they were pornographic or anything like that. But we just didn't like them. They weren't not good enough. Oh, there were certain movies we went to that we thought might be good.
Did you go down to Philadelphia at all?
Oh yes.
On a train?
No, we used to drive.
Drive?
Yeah.
Well, what would you do in Philadelphia?
Well, my mother went down every week, and we went down South Street, and there was a store that sold eggs and butter, and she used to go down there and get rolls and rolls of sweet butter, and rolls of regular butter.
Big round tubes.
Yeah, big round tubes. And
why did she go down to Philadelphia to get it?
because it was fresh butter.
More fresh.
And they used it in the bakery, and she used it. See, in those days there was nothing artificial. Everything was fresh. The eggs were fresh. The butter was fresh.
Yeah.
And Jeannie's on the phone.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get Nana to talk to Aunt Jeannie.
Well, I just talked to her the other day.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. When did you meet your husband?
Well, actually, I was visiting my cousins who had an apartment down in Philadelphia. One of them was going to school. The other one was working to put her through school. And this is something. I spent a weekend with them, and I had a date, and I went out on a date. And in the bedroom where I occupied, you know, there was this long mirror there. And I came in, and there's this huge grease spot on this mirror. And I said, what happened here? And they said, well, it was a Polish fellow. His name was Swienckowski, and he came with Johnny Painter. And he leaned up against that mirror. And he left that grease spot on there. And I said, "Why, that
From his
grease-"
hair?
Yeah.
Oh.
I said, that greasy Pollock. I was so mad at him. Didn't know the guy, but I thought, what a greasy Pollock. So, my cousin and I, the one that lived in Philadelphia, this goes back about a year later. Yeah. And we're walking up Penn Street, our main street, and she said, here he comes, here he comes. I said, who's coming? And I bump into this guy, and I said, oh, I'm sorry, and I walked on, and she said, him! You just bumped into him.
It's the
I said,
conversation.
oh, no, I said, I didn't remember him at all. And then, then I met him at the Gallmans. Gallmans just got this idea that I had to marry him. One of those things. It was a frame-up. Really.
You were framed.
I was framed. Really was framed. Yeah, I hear the story of my life.
Yeah.
So how long did you date him? Or court him?
About a year.
About a year?
I had another boyfriend.
Yeah, who was that?
That would keep a secret.
Oh.
It was a nice chap from Shillington. I liked very, very much.
What happened to him?
It happened to me. I started going with your grandfather.
And this other guy from Chillington wasn't fast enough, huh?
I guess not. He got a job in Harrisburg.
My mom wants to talk to you.
Yeah, well, you go because I talked to your mother just the other day. So
Well, then
let
Steve,
everybody else.
definitely.
Yes, Steve, you go. You can
All
turn
right.
that off and you can come back.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
my
I go
grandma had-
down like this.
That's why my grandma had that same thing. The prescription was too strong.
Yeah.
She was supposed to do it gradual, and she went into one of those mall jobs, the
Oh.
shopping mall jobs, and they gave it to her too strong, and she would fall down, and it's,
No, this is from my regular doctor.
yeah. Huh.
Supposedly good, but not so good. I'm going back again. And say, hey,
Oh, yeah.
I walk around like a drunken woman, especially if it's dark and I can't see.
Oh, dear.
Now that's bad.
Okay.
Where were we? What were we gonna do?
Well, we were talking about you got married.
Yeah, I
What
got
happened to the
married.
fella that got away? Or whatever?
Guy that got away.
He got away. I did. I was running.
Let's see. How you had a baby right away, or
I had a miscarriage with the first one.
you did?
Yeah. We were married about 6 months when that happened.
Huh.
The funny part was I didn't even know I was pregnant.
Well, why not?
I didn't. It was only not more than about a month and a half
Really?
when it happened.
Huh.
And I didn't even know it was happening.
Huh.
Because I didn't know,
Yeah.
It's something you don't know. No one's going to say to you, you're pregnant. I didn't think I was pregnant.
Mhm.
Just one of those things. But then your father was born, and then he was a cute baby.
Mhm.
And then right after him came, they walk around and look around and walk.
Trying to get rid of a diaper.
Oh, yeah. And then Johnny was born,
Mhm.
and of course, and Jeannie,
Mhm.
and then later on Susie.
Mhm.
So that's the story.
Why so long till Susie came along?
Well, that was what the doctor told me. I had an inverted womb.
Uh-huh.
And he said, we'll have to take you to the hospital and fix that. I says, hey, I don't need oh, no. So she was kind of a surprise.
Oh, okay. What a nice surprise.
Very nice, yeah.
Now you lived at where'd you start off in Shillington, or where was it you guys
know
were
in
living?
Kenhurst.
Start off in Kenhurst?
Yeah, we lived in a double home out there, which I loved, really.
Pause that for a second.
Yeah.
My mom got a letter.
Fun. And everybody said because I was the only girl in the family, I was spoiled. It was not so. Because they would hold my arm in back of me and hold on to it and say uncle, say uncle. And if I said uncle, I got hit for giving in.
Oh, good. It's you to be tough at an early age.
Oh, I had to be tough. And so when I got a bicycle, I think I was about 6. And this was a big bike already. It was not a little kid's bike anymore. And they taught me how to ride that because up till then I was driving almost like a tricycle. And but they never taught me that there was a brake on a bicycle. I go scooting down the street. I want to turn around and come up. Instead, I hit the curb and I went flying.
Oh my God.
I had half the neighbors out running and going. And there I was, so I landed on my head, which my father said was pretty hard, so I didn't do any damage.
Oh, good.
My father was a neat guy. No, he really was. He just, after he got over the shock of, they thought I was hurt badly. And they found out there was nothing wrong. But they never know it has been showing up for years. There is something wrong.
Remnants of brain damage.
And brain damage. I should go in for a brain scan.
Now, when you married this
Frank.
pharmacist,
Frank?
he came into some money eventually. I mean, it seemed like his investments turned out pretty well.
Oh, his investments were very good.
Mm-hmm.
And had he stayed, or, where we were in Kenhurst, or bought a smaller home, which we were looking at, or do what the neighbors did. They raised the roof and put a bedroom and bathroom up there, took the living room and the dining room, made that into one room, and took the kitchen, which was huge, and made that in a dining room and built out into the yard, which we had plenty of. We had enough room back there. And he would have been well off. And when he bought the home in Rifle, he had to get rid of all his investments.
So that was a mistake, you think?
A very big mistake.
Okay.
I begged him not to buy that
So
home.
what year was that he bought the home?
Well, I was pregnant with Susie. And Susie was only 3 weeks old when we moved in there. And Susie's what? How old is Susie?
She's 15 years older than me, so she's 42.
42.
So he had to dump out of all of his investments to buy that house.
Which was a big, big mistake.
Which Nana hated to clean.
Well, there was so much of it to clean.
It was a big house.
Uh-huh.
Well, why did he want that house?
Ego.
Mark, you guys are
Ego?
Ego.
It's a big ego booster when you see that house.
That it was.
I've
Are you
seen
going
that.
back some?
Mhm.
'Cause I want to get family
It's
pictures.
huge on the inside. The whole thing is it's a big home, but there's an awful lot of wasted room in that house. A lot of wasted room. Like the foyer, well, would take all this whole floor in. I mean, what do you do with a room like that?
Yeah.
If you have a small foyer, at least you can do something with. You can do anything with that room. And then up above that was a room that had a banister around it, and then a huge bay window there. You couldn't do anything with that because that was open. You couldn't turn it into a bedroom. No way, unless you build a wall there. And there was no way to build a wall.
So you were too practical for a big house like that.
But you lived pretty comfortably, I guess.
Yes. Yes, I had to work very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get any help.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the kids had to work out in the garden and help and all that. You know, raking leaves and everything. As I guess your mother told you, all the kids got chased to work. Everybody had their own job.
Mm-hmm. And
I didn't really hate the house. What I hated was all the work. I hated what went on in there.
Mhm.
That's what I hated. I hated the fact that I didn't want to move there in the first place.
yeah.
And that I wanted to stay where I was at or near because I had my cousins living there and gals I went to school with. So it was sort of more like a big party.
Tell us about some of your friends. You've had some friends you've been friends with for a long time, right?
Oh, yes, from the day we were born practically.
Uh-huh.
I still have them.
Who?
Stella Smith and Frances,
Mhm.
the one you call Aunt Frances.
Uh-huh.
And they were, ever since our parents were friends, and we became friends. And we were like a family, you know, like a whole big family. It's just we always gathered. And my mother had, well, there were three brothers here. And she had 5 sisters. And it used to be fun. When we got together, when they came, and they were, every holiday they were at our house, and it was fun. And we had a big kitchen, and my father would put on the Polish records, polka. And they'd all dance around the kitchen. And at Christmas time, my dad would bring straw in and put it underneath the table. And my mother would put little packages in, maybe wrap a couple cents in a little package, or a little doll, or some small trinket. And then after dinner, we got under the table and we dug around to get all this stuff that was under there.
In the straw.
In the straw, which was a
How
lot.
is it you think you've stayed friends with like Stella and Frances for so long?
What? Because we got along. I mean, we gave and we took and we gave. You know, it's still that way today. I mean, we're still very good friends. It's like, if I do something wrong, they'll say, hey, you know, back up. You know, you're a little wrong over there. Why? And if they did anything, it would come from me. Hey, come on. That's a little rough. You know, this is the way we talk to one another. And we know the whole family. I knew her grandmother, her grandfather, her aunts and uncles. You know, it's like if she talks about her Uncle Chester, I know who she means. It's not like who is he. We know. We just know. We know the whole shooting match. And they all got along beautifully. And Stella's father was a baker too, and he had his own bakery. And well, Stella's sister Mary was a friend of mine. Well, most of my friends are gone. Bilges were very good friends, and their dad, both of them. An awful lot of good people that I knew are gone.
Who was your friend that used to clean the house?
Irma. She's gone.
Where'd you meet her?
Why, she worked down at the Reading Country Club. And when your father was getting married, I needed help desperately because I knew all these people were coming down from Scranton. Well, like something like 30 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the man down there that was in the, I don't remember what he was doing down there, whether he was took care of the waitresses
Manager or
a
something.
manager, whatever. And Baca asked him about help for me. Would he know someone? And he said, I have a very good girl for her. She can come and help her out with the wedding. And Irma came, and then I remembered her. She was not our waitress when we went down a club to eat, but I did see her there. And we became very, very good friends. We were just, I loved her, and I miss her terribly.
What happened to her?
She died. She had a brain hemorrhage.
What was that?
That's about
But you've been lucky. A lot of your friends are still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Francis, right, and Stella.
And Stella, another Stella Hendel. She's still around, and the four of us always go out together. And we have a lot of fun.
So tell us about your grandkids and your great grandkids.
Oh, well, how about that? Let's see. Let's start from the top with my firstborn, Steve. He was the one. He was king of the roost. And then came another first in our family, and that was our Irene.
Well, Mark and Margaret.
Yeah, well, this was in one family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mark came, and then Margaret.
It seemed like you had a lot of grandkids all at once.
Yeah, the three of you were too, like this, steps. And then later on came Jennifer. And then Jeannie, our daughter, had Irene. And I loved her very, very much. She doesn't remember that.
No, I remember.
You do?
I used to spend a lot of time with you.
Yes, you did. I used to go, she lived in Violin, New Jersey, and I'd go down there just to pick her up and bring her. Because I just loved her. And then
I never got homesick.
No, it's true, you never did.
I still don't.
She'd make friends with everybody. We were in a lineup, with cars, She'd stand on the seat and talk to someone, wave to them, and they all waved to her. By the time we got out of the line, she was friends with everybody. She was just a sweetheart. She still is. She's still a sweetheart. And then there was David, and then Richard.
That's all of them.
And then Susie. John, of course, boy and a girl, Scott and Susie.
Mm-hmm.
And Archie, Susie had the two.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
One died, one drowned. Sky was her name. Beautiful child. And they don't know how it happened. Irene happened to be on that boat during that tragic time.
Oh, jeez, when was this? 5 years ago. In August. So that was their firstborn then?
There was that first
She
one.
fell overboard.
And you never knew what happened or how it happened
She went to the bow of the boat and fell overboard.
to the bow. Wasn't there any protection there?
No, not at that time.
Oh, there wasn't any.
Not in the very front because you needed it open to sheet the sails up.
Oh.
By the bowsprit,
Yeah.
See, I never knew that.
she found a hole.
Yeah, she did. She found it.
She had fallen off once before, but we were all standing there.
Uh-huh.
And we grabbed her up by the side of the boat.
Oh, see.
Maurice was there, this French sailor that we were friends with.
Uh-huh.
And he grabbed her up and she was scared. But at that time,
I never knew that. You never told
well,
me.
I will never forget the way,
Mhm.
but it doesn't.
No, I'm sure you're never going to forget that. It lives with you all the time, doesn't it?
So now you're pretty healthy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll find out when I go to the doctor, January the 3rd, but I feel I'm pretty healthy. Outside of ache here and an ache there, but I don't let it bother me. And I'm 79, and everybody's so surprised I'm 79. And I tell them that that doesn't mean anything to me because it's only a number as far as I'm concerned. It's only 79. That doesn't even mean me. I don't know why.
Well, you do look younger.
Well, that's what everybody says, and now I look in the mirror and I think, ugh. Forgive me. It's like my mother always said, which I think is cute. My face, I don't mind. It goes before me. It's the people. No, my face, I don't mind. I go behind it. It's the people up front that I jar.
Oh, jeez.
I always remember that, or I try to remember that. Oh, it's the people up front I jar.
Now you said you wanted to go to college. You wish you went to college. Did you ever have a job besides taking care of your family?
I worked in Pomeroy's
Mm-hmm.
in the underwear department. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. After our Norman was 3.5, 4 years, I moved in with my aunt and I took Norman with me
Mm-hmm.
because it just.
Where was this? Down in Reading?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
So you
am.
moved from Lorraine to Reading?
To Reading, and I got a job in Pomeroy's, and I worked in Pomeroy's for the magnificent sum of $13.50 a week.
Was that good?
In those days, it was good.
Yeah?
But you worked from 8 to 6
Uh-huh.
every day, and Saturdays from 7:30 till 10 o'clock.
Really?
And you had a half an hour break for lunch and a half an hour break for dinner on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you had.
How long did you do that?
Well, let's see. I got married, and then I became pregnant with Frankie. And after I was pregnant with him for a couple months, 3 or 4 months, I stopped working.
And that's the last time you worked? Worked at
That
one of those regular jobs.
regular job, yeah.
You've been working ever since.
Right, you are. Not so
Now-
much now.
What do you do nowadays?
Take care of the house and the garden and that kind of stuff, and there's enough to do. How about that? And a husband whom I cook for all the time since.
That's work right there.
Right, yeah, right. And I go out. I do Meals on Wheels, and I volunteer other times with other things.
I remember when you and I took that glider trip
Oh, I love
in California that one time.
Uh-huh.
And you said you'd always wanted to do that, and you'd always said you wanted to take a balloon ride.
Right.
Have you done that yet?
No, I haven't done that
Or
yet.
any other things that you want to do?
No, this is about it. I've been on a boat. I've done almost practically everything that was fun.
But the balloon ride was something.
But the balloon ride yet, haven't done that. But I've been on 3 glider rides, which is, I loved every minute of it. I love it. I just love it. It's so quiet. I went up myself, and then I went up with you, and then I went up with Diane.
Oh, really?
So, but I'd still like to do the balloon ride, maybe someday. But that's not important anymore. At one time it was very important, but not anymore.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. It seems to me I've done almost what I liked. I love my family. I love my grandchildren, and I have my 2 great-grandchildren, that little girl over here. And then you have a very lovely girl, who I hope someday will be in our family.
No. Boy, turning on the pressure here.
I'm not turning on the pressure.
Well, one more question. You're looking back on it all. I'm sure you do a lot. Is there anything you would have done differently?
Well, yes, but something I can't say.
You wouldn't have gotten married.
Then she wouldn't have had us.
Well, I would have.
I had somebody.
To someone else, maybe.
But that's probably what you would have done. You look back.
Yeah, but that's, hindsight.
Yeah. But still, that's something that...
But you're not going to show this to anybody else, I hope.
No.
Good. But, no, I'm proud of my kids for what they did in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Very proud of all of them. I'm proud of my grandchildren. I think they did very well. They're doing very well. You, Mark, Irene, David, who someday is going to be, what, business?
Lawyer.
Lawyer. Okay. And Richard, of course, he's found his niche. What's he doing right now?
Right now he's doing heating and air conditioning.
And he seems to like it very much, doesn't he?
He picks everything up fast.
He
Smart
does.
kid.
He is smart. And Jennifer someday will be a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of my family. I am. And people tell me that I'm very, very lucky. And I very unabashedly say to them, yes, I am. I am. I'm very lucky. I love my family. We have a lot of fun together, I think. I know. And they're very kind to me, and they're all very good to me. And they don't forget me. So what else can I say about that?
That's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any other questions. That's good. I just wanted to get that on tape.
Someday I'd like to hear that.
It's always so funny to see yourself on on film too, don't you think? Have you ever seen those? You guys do. You guys have been doing home movies though for a long time.
time.
A long time. It's like even before these toys were popular, you know. Frank and we have movies from the no speakies. The new speakies.
The no speakies. Remember my first birthday, Nana, when
Music
Susie
underneath.
had that hat and she wanted to take it off?
Yeah.